Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly show all about the shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg and this is...
Well, no witty nickname prepared, Matt Strange. And this is...
the wittiest of nicknames, Mo.
Oh! Shit, he's trumped me.
How are you guys doing this week?
I'm on like 5 hours sleep, but I'm ready. I'm good. I played some Fights in Tight Spaces last night. Really good indie game on Steam if you like turn-based tactics and martial arts. With a good look, probably get about 10-15 quid now.
Nice. Oh. I woke up this morning not realising it was Monday and had a mild panic.
Oh,
I've been playing a shitload of Valheim. I've gone back to that as of yesterday.
no.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I might go back to Valheim again.
They got a load of new shit on it.
How are you, Morg? What have you been up to?
Nothing at all, to be
Nothing
fair.
at all.
No, I've been working. I think the most exciting thing I've been doing is playing Dungeons & Dragons online all weekend. Because they had a big XP bonus, so I've just been trying to get stuff done on my MMO. Right.
Congratulations to you and your 4 mates keeping it alive.
Right.
Wrestling.
Yeah, time to start talking about wrestling. So this might be the first time you have listened to our podcast. I don't believe this is the first time anyone who's currently in Twitch has watched us. But you would need to know we have a tier list, which is how we give our how we give our scores for the individual matches of Dynamite and Rampage, and give our overall scores. Mr. Strange, are you ready to explain a tier list to the new people?
New people? Fucking hell. Okay, one take, I'm busy. Letter system, school system, tier list, tier zoo. You've all seen it on computer games. We've got ranked on it afterwards on different things. It's a good thing. It's all over the place. D is shitty. We didn't like the D segment. The promo didn't get them over. The match was crap. The map was crap. And just generally, I was displeased with the situation. Maybe I'll throw out a D today. Who knows? C, good. Little bit of story. Little bit of good wrestling. Not enough to blow your mind. Fills the time. You feel happy after you've watched it. The promo, you watch the character, went, yeah, that's the character. Good stuff. B, match +1. I think I'm going to try and slicken some of these out today. Just a really, really good match. It's clear in the ring. It's not quite going to blow your mind, but you know what it's about. I'd like to have a little bit of story coming out in and out, but if the wrestling's good enough, I'll let it pass. B-rank promo or section, wonderful little bit of thing where the character breathes to you, and you get every time you get to go, oh, what a good promo. I like him. A, immense, awesome, fucking fantastic, great stuff. Best thing of the week. Definitely story in, definitely story out. No A for just a really good wrestling match, but the wrestling match itself best be fucking superb. I don't want to be jumping out going, oh, they botched that, or a lack of chemistry. A-rank promo sections are the really cool bits you can share to your wrestling mate to go, oh, look how funny Jericho is, typically. Or some other dumb shit, maybe there's a song to dance, who knows. S! Ninjas. Cowboys, wizards, zombies, fucking teleporting people.
Undead bikers.
Undead bikers, not just cinematic matches, though. Truly phenomenal ends to storylines. You gotta have that story in and story out. And you gotta have some story in the ring. Just a beautiful moment for us to experience together for the love of wrestling. Or an S-rank promo section, someone which breaks the paradigm, where you see the character grow, change, become something new, or do something hilarious. Just a great, great moment for us. Fucking redneck anime fans. That's all wrestling is. So D, shitty. C, good. B, very good. A, amazing. S, superior. Let's go.
There you have it.
Redneck anime.
Quick hello. We've got Mac and T Saga, Island of Rob. First time catching us live for the first time for Island of Rob. So quick shout out there. So we're going to move on to news. Have we got anything happy to start off with before we get to the main stuff? Should we start with probably the least bad of the two comparatively at the minute? This is a Dub Z news. Big E, formerly Big E Langston, suffered a really bad injury on SmackDown and is currently suffering with a broken neck. The pictures I've seen, he looks quite cheerful, but it's still comparative.
Yeah, I watched his... he did a little video, I think it was yesterday. Days are the same at the moment. And he was actually considering, dude's just... I think he fractured his C1 and C2, I think it was. But he was there and there. but on Biggie Langston there and there, because I presume his spine is as big as my head.
I do.
Seen massive neck people survive such injuries and come out of them, from the massive neck to Bushi up to the massive neck not Goldberg, Brock. He did the
Taz. Taz famously broke his neck, walked to the ER, and they said, "You've broken your neck. How did you get here?" "I've walked." "There's no way you walked here. You've got a broken neck."
You missed a bit out. He finished the match.
Yes.
And then walked to A&E.
I hope.
So yeah, hope. Right. Mr. Strange, do you want to... Yeah, I'm going to give you the bad one, I'm afraid.
Thanks. The most cheerful of us. As most of us know in wrestling news now, Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon, had 3 heart attacks last night, I want to say, and has been admitted to hospital. It's from a blood clot that got loose during his leg surgery. And, well, the main news I've got is from Kevin Nash, who is pretty damn close to Scott Hall, who says they're planning to turn off his life support when his family arrives. So it's one last give me your energy for Scott Hall. He's definitely been an interesting character throughout his life, but he seems to have found an arc to at least some form of redemption near the end of it. And it's sad news for any of us who grew up on childhood wrestling. So much love and for a peaceful time for him and his family. Condolences.
Yeah.
Not good with words about death.
It's a difficult subject at the end of the day. Even though we don't know him personally. Well, I presume Matt might. He seems to know everyone. We don't know him personally. However, it doesn't take any of the personality away from it, because we grew up watching, especially someone like Scott Hall. You know, when I first started this, one of my favourite matches of all time was him and Shawn Michaels. You know, he's always going to have quite a chunk of memory in wrestling in general.
He was
the NWO.
Hall and Nash, never two of my favourites, mainly because of politics, but Hall really, and Nash has as well to a point, but Hall, everything with DDP has really, really turned everything
DDP
around.
Is the saint of wrestling.
Yeah, and apparently,
take off drugs and fix your spine.
And he's also comedy Batman. More on that later. But you know, that's really bad news. Should we see if we can find something a bit more cheerful? What have you got from social media, Mr. Strange?
Right, so it's been quite interesting on social media. There's yet more Cody Rhodes to WWE rumours. I saw Brandy put up a little picture. All of the posts have been from Brandy getting strong handshakes and such like, which probably brings some wrestling fans a few nightmare images, because she didn't have the best run in AEW. But there's definitely been some signings, some drink chinking, and more rumours that Cody will appear tonight in Jacksonville on Raw. So, care about that? You can watch Cody utterly remove himself from the indies forever. Other things, we had a bit of a Twitter spat between Britt and Thunder Rosa after Thunder Rosa's husband said Britt's promo was shit. So she said he should stick to booking wrestling shows in his basement. Thunder Rosa's indie promotion, Warrior Wrestling, came to defend it, and she was like, "No, that's not what we're talking about, and you both know this." And I was intrigued. Turns out a lot of promotions, it's falling out of fashion now, you can order what are called customs, which is where you pay for a unique wrestling match between 2 female wrestlers, and it's sent to just you. In some cases, you can pay and go and wrestle with the wrestlers. I am not going to comment any further on this, because it walks a fine tightrope of not my fucking business and controversial. But it stopped after that. I would say Britt won the Twitter beef, if I'm honest. But it stopped after that. So let's watch that hardcore match that's coming with a little bit more excitement, shall we? And Bullet Club, more Bullet Club news. The rest of Bullet Club showed up to betray GOD at the last NJPW show. That's the Gorillas of Destiny or Destruction, depending on the different period. Tama Tonga and Tamaloa. They are fully betrayed now. So looks like Indies rotating real Bullet Club is Jay White, Good Brothers, Bay. One of the Jade Orgados, the other one stuck with them, Farley. All of the traditional older members except GOD, who I think are going for a face run, but this could tie into the expanded world of Bullet Club, as we're obviously about to see more of that on AEW, which I like, the MCU of wrestling, as it were. And finally, for those of us who look up more weird indie wrestling and such like, it looks like the Briscoes, a famous tag team the internet has been dying to see versus FTR, similar styles, will not be coming to AEW. Warner Media has said no to them because Jay Briscoe tweeted some homophobic things in 2013. He has then since made apologies for that, and the wrestler Effie, who hosts Effie's Big Gay Lunch, who is in a tag team called Bussy against the... that's Boy Pussy, for those who don't know, against the Briscoes coming soon, has personally vouched for them. But sadly, Twitter has discovered the offensive things they've said, shared that everywhere, and no one's gone, they've apologised or grown or whatever. But it's building back up. As I say, there's always arc for redemption in my world, at least. Especially when a gay wrestler whose entire gimmick is, I'm gay and we do gay things, is shouting for you and saying, you're good now. But once again, who am I to argue with Twitter?
The thing with that is, it normally sort of comes back around within a couple of weeks. It has that initial explosion of hate, normally championed by about 50 people. And then
The problem is, the Briscoes look like southern redneck hillbilly types, and that's their entire gimmick. So people are a lot less forgiving of the visuals of the enemy, shall we say.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
On the other hand, Tony Khan has bought the entirety of Ring of Honor where they are, so maybe that was his big brain move to get us FTR versus the Briscoes. Can't bring them to AEW, buy their promotion. Big brain play, 4D chess.
Right. Before we start the reviews, just a quick shout out. Hello, Mr. Wabbit, for joining us. There was a question in the chat. This one's for you, Strange. Can you delve very quickly into the reason why an S is higher than an A?
A is what you would expect from the top tier of a realistically good match. It's your, you can see the end of a beautiful storyline and the beautiful things. But sometimes you need that something plus one, don't you? You need that conclusion to the great story arc. You need the match itself in the ring technically will be on the same sort of level. But when it comes to the story arc, the finding it I'm not a WWE fan or historian, but I think most people would say at least some of the Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker stuff is S.
Yeah.
From the concluding the careers. It's that final build-up, but you're not just watching a great match, you're almost getting a cathartic release from the end of it.
And then... so I've just got
just plus one, right? God damn it!
Unless they just meant alphabetically.
So actually, why isn't the best thing in A rather than an S? It's because S is the video game ranking.
It's from Japanese
school system.
It's like our rankings at school, but as opposed to an A star, you get an S at the top. Like if you completed Resident Evil 2 with everything and under 4 saves, you'd get an S or triple S rank.
What does the S stand for again?
Boy. Yeah.
Right. Let's kick off our review time. So, we kick off as always with Dynamite, JR, Excalibur, Schiavone on commentary, and Jericho in-ring promo. Eddie comes out. 2.0 and Garcia interrupt. Jump Kingston. And Jericho, Proud and Powerful for the save. Jericho then turns on Proud and Powerful, and Hager joins to create the Jericho Appreciation Society. What did you think? It's got a shit name. It's better than Pinnacle.
A shit name? It's wonderful. How dare you?
Thoughts and scores, gentlemen. Thoughts and scores.
Obviously, didn't trust the mixed face energy at the start. It was quite obvious it was going to go wrong. He did put Eddie over as fuck, though, in his little things. I liked Eddie destroying the what chance. Thank you, Based Eddie. You great hero. Crowd loves him. Great direction. We see 2.0 run out. I love 2.0. They've got the most cocaine energy I've seen in wrestling in a long time. In fact, the Canadian cocaine stable could possibly have been a better name for the Jericho Association. Big heel turn. And it was time for that Inner Circle breakup, if you ask me. They've not really been together since Sammy got his own blog thing going. Powerbomb looked fucking rough. I like the fact Hager looked confused when he ran out and just basically went, oh, until Jericho. I was quite entertained by this. I think we got a good story lead. It's a new arc. We're getting the breakup. Should have brought Diamante out so we could have the women's for LAX. Hager's come back looking like fucking prime Hogan. He was ripped as shit. I gave it a B. I was entertained. I think this is a very new story arc episode, and I think this is a good beginning for it. And it gets another feud. So,
yeah, I mean, I gave it a B as well. I really enjoyed this. I like the great face heel shittiness from Jericho. This is the best Kingston promo I've seen since I've started, because I don't think he's had the greatest this year from how everyone's explained.
Yeah, to his old Mox one.
Yeah. Compared to what everyone's explained all of his promos to me before I started watching, I was expecting big things, and this was pretty damn good, in all honesty. I think this could lead to something really, really, really cool with even bigger stables. Hopefully they can start piling people in, and it isn't just going to be Santana and Ortiz on their Todd.
There are 170 members on the roster at the moment.
Yeah, they could pull some together. Just pull them together. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was really good. Sets up for something pretty nice, I think.
B's all round. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great promo. I thought Eddie was great. I love Jericho's seeming to be... He didn't come across as disingenuous. We've said this before, Strange. Did this feel like the beginning of a new series to you?
Oh, definitely.
Really did. With one exception, this really did feel like the
new arc.
A new season of our TV show, especially with some of the other stuff we will discuss coming up. Right. We then had a CM Punk promo.
Word solid catch up.
Yeah, it was just it was wrestling. I don't think it needs a rank. Anything to add, Mo?
No, nothing.
Following on from that, we had Dante Martin versus Hangman for the TNA championship. Sorry, bleh. For the AEW Championship. I wrote TNT and crossed it out. That's where I confused myself then. For the AEW Championship, Hangman wins with the buckshot. Go to the match. What did you think of the match, and what score did you give it?
Mostly solid match. Had a nice solid start. Some wrestling, some flips, some shoulder tackles. I really like Paige just walking into his chops like, that ain't going to work on me. There was a fucked up springboard catch where Hangman just about stopped himself snapping Dante's neck. Properly went down sideways, but they styled it through. Hangman weirdly gets the heel control spot for picture-in-picture, which ends giving, obviously, Dante plus 10 face health, so he can do all of his high-flying shit. Hangman did a brilliant catch into a Liger bomb off one of his moves. He's got that counted down. I love it when he does it. Big sequence on the outside. Felt a bit over-choreographed for me to the finish, but I gave it a C. It was good. It was wrestling. Nothing special, nothing bad. It was alright.
I genuinely thought there was going to be a lot more shenanigans in this. Just because of how Revolution ended for other Martin. Can't remember his first name now. My brain's gone numb. But his brother. Thank you, Darius. That's it. I genuinely thought this was just going to be a... Oh, am I everything right?
You're fine.
No, you're fine.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I thought this was going to end up as a no contest. 30 people come down and start having a post-revolution sort of thing. So it was actually quite nice to see this actually go the distance. It was a pretty damn good match. There was a lot more. I thought Dante Martin did a lot more than I was expecting them to allow him to do, if that makes sense. It was a lot more back and forth. They're definitely turning Page into sort of like the Swiss Army knife of ability, aren't they? He could do a bit of everything because he was the power guy this time. stuff like that. Well, it's
You
quite
can't be the
fun.
flippy guy against Dante, can you?
Exactly. Yeah. You're gonna look like a mug, aren't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a C. I gave it a C.
I gave it a high C. I quite enjoyed it. There was some flippy shit, and we know that I'm a bit of a sucker. But that and it was a face versus face match, and it was a well done face versus face match, which I think is what gave it the bump. But yeah, I mean, it was a C. In all honesty, I just think I just slightly enjoyed it more. So after that, Hangman and Shivani do an in-ring interview, where Hangman does the very big babyface thing, calls back Dante. And then Adam Cole interrupts, and Strange's face turns red. Go on.
Isn't he meant to fuck off elsewhere in the card now? Had your title shot, you've lost. Look, I appreciate everybody who watched NXT wants to see the NXT people. I didn't watch NXT, I watched AEW, so why am I now watching NXT? He's even the fucking worst of the people who've come from NXT. I do not understand why this is still going on. Now we can have the guy who breaks it with the Bucks plot. And I'm going to rip on this again a bit fucking later, if you hadn't been surprised. So I don't care. I'm not ranking it. Fuck Adam Cole. It was nice that Hangman was wholesome to Dante.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the rage like that. I just sort of gave this a C anyway. Like, I didn't really give it a score. It just sort of felt like an extra. Yeah, I saw that happening. Fine, whatever.
I just expected it.
Yeah.
It's completely a setup for the Elite breakup and the reforming of the Elite as babyfaces. Following on from that, we had Bryan Danielson and Mox with William Regal versus the Workhorsemen. Danielson wins with the label lock. Thoughts and scores.
I know JD Drake was in the second tag team. I thought he was in the Wingmen with the, one of the best stables.
That was the first thing I found. That's the first time I heard about it.
Let's be honest, this wasn't the best match, but we weren't really here for the match, were we? JD Drake has a little bit of chemistry with Mox, then Brian kicks him a lot. Greenhead dude gets tagged in, so Brian can no-sell him and they wail on him too. Mox fucked up a tope real bad. Yeah, he probably went meh. Then a head kick and it's over. I could arguably give the match itself a D, but that's not why we're here. This wasn't a great... It was a squash match. Look, they came out, beat them up. Not great. You guys can rank the match. I'm not here for this match.
So, I didn't feel like this was a complete squash match because the other dude, Anthony something, and I was like Anthony Harry or
Green hair man.
Green hair dude, yeah. He actually had quite a lot. It was actually all right, I thought. Like he got a bit of offense in, and they didn't absolutely destroy them in 25 seconds, which is what I was fully expecting, just so they could then bring Regal out, or well, bring him in, I guess. I mean, it was an all right go. I gave the match a C. Like I wasn't that negative about the match.
Maybe I'm used to better from Danielson. Just
I feel I am returning. The return of Captain Positive is back. I gave it a high C, mainly because of what a great showcase this was of this new team. That's what bumped it up. I thought the match was just a C, but I thought the showcase of what Brian and Mox are going to be like together really came across for me, and was another point in my feeling like this felt like the beginning of a new season. Following on from that, we had a William Regal in-ring, I'm going to say promo. I wrote it down as interview because that's what it came across at first. But it was an in-ring promo. Thoughts and scores, gentlemen?
Fucking loves his son, doesn't he? Doesn't he love his son? I'm going to give a thumbs up to my favourite insult. I see you haven't found a decent tailor in all this time. Fabulous. What a wonderful line. I was really amused by, obviously Regal overshot his mark in this. It's well known. He overran on time. He apologised publicly for it to everybody on the old Twitter. But I did love This is my son, Brian Danielson. He is the perfect wrestler. He is perfect. He is so great. We grew up together. We spent loads of times together. I love him. I love this man. I might die and I love this man. This is John. He may have overhyped Danielson a little bit much compared to his complete, and John's here. He'll hurt people. I loved it. I gave it a B. I don't think it's as much as putting my nostalgia aside. It was a really nice moment where he overshot a bit. I loved seeing it. He talked about how great Bryan Danielson was. Completely missed Jon Moxley. So I gave it a reasonable B. Arguably a high B from my raw heart. It would go higher, but I think that's fair.
Well, I gave it an A. I loved it. You were 100% right. It was like 90% of Brian is the greatest person that has ever existed, ever. There is no time frame that you could ever tell me anything otherwise. Like, just this pure, unbridled love thrown his way. It was amazing. It did feel like Mox was sort of the unwanted stepchild, a little bit. He did a little bit like he had a nice thing here. The things me and this guy did together would have made the devil cry and like that sort of stuff, which was, he did get a couple of nice things in there, but he probably needed a couple more. I'm fully expecting next week they to have another match and they give him the thing again and he ignores Daniel. Brian, just to, I don't think he will.
Look at what happened. Look at the love in their eyes for each other.
But wouldn't it be great if he cut a promo and you just can tell his heart's not in it? Yeah, good. Yeah, he's great. Yeah. But I still loved it. Hey.
I really enjoyed this. To be honest, it didn't kind of bother me because I sort of felt a little bit to me like, here's my son that we can put on the podium, and he's the one, and this is the other son. We don't talk about him, but you really don't want to mess with him. He's probably a lot more violent than that one. That one's going to tie you in knots. This one's just going to shove a barbed wire baseball bat up your rectum. And that was completely what but that was what I got out of it. I really did. What I really liked was so Regal is always, even in his NXT manager days, that he's always a little bit of what an Americans think a Brit is, in respects of what he used to do with Lord Stephen Regal.
Lord Regal from Blackpool.
Yeah. He sounded like he was from Blackpool in this. His accent was coming out. He had none of the play up on the voice with his pronunciation. And I loved it. It just felt even more real. I don't care that it went over. Screw you guys. Yeah, let William Regal talk. When he's on form and can talk. Nobody says war games like William Regal.
Kyle, never say it again.
No, he'll have to say blood. He has to say blood and guts instead. Moving on from there, we had a Dark Order and Hangman backstage segment. Thoughts?
Oh, they're falling apart, so he can fill Kenny's role in the Bucks versus Adam Cole feud. Wrestling. Even right down a grade, just a spot to let us know what's going on in it.
Yeah, it was just story.
Oh, new person? How do you feel about it? How do you feel, new AEW fan?
I mean, like, I caught the tail end of hints of Adam Page was with the Dark Order as friends. I obviously went back.
You haven't got a fucking clue.
You mentioned to me about the when they put the Titan, like they were bringing out the cake and all that, and I went back and watched that, and it was fucking brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Good.
I did think, are they just going to separate them up, or is someone going to turn heel? It's not going to be Page, obviously. Like, do you think that this could cause disorder in the order? Yeah, I'm sticking with that as a sentence.
Hopefully so, because they need to do something with them.
Yeah, it's all leading up to Rotunda turning up. Let's just be honest.
No more wrestlers.
I see you want more UFC, ex-UFC and MMA stars.
More of that later.
Right, following on from there, we had a match that we had because of something went short. Making sense to me. Wheeler Yuta with the best friends versus Pac with Penta and Alex Abrahantes. Thoughts and scores?
So I'm just going to jump in. I think it was meant to be Pac v OC. Originally, I think that's what they had originally put down, but he's done his elbow in.
Right.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Got Uncle Phil to A&E, didn't he? Anyway, this was very filler, but it was alright. Nippy start, straight into picture-in-picture. Congratulations, guys. Pac just feeds Yuta his own shit for all of it. Then Yuta possibly gets a bit too much health back as the break ends. He comes back at 250 miles an hour. Yuta's really good. It's nice to actually see him do some stuff. Then Pac finishes him. Don't think it was a squash. Gave it a low C. It was there.
I gave it just a straight C. I didn't bother with the low side of it. It was all right. It was you just get to see Pac being a bastard. It's great. It's literally his fucking name. It's awesome. The only thing for me, I don't know whether the mics were a little bit too close, but you could definitely hear a Geordie accent quite a few times calling out how he's going to kill the guy next.
Fold you over. Drop kick you.
People talk too much. Yeah, it was alright. It was a C. I gave it a C. It was an okay match. Pac didn't squash Wheeler. He had a bit of a showing, but you know, Pac wins with the brutalizer. That's what I did miss. Right, moving on. Time for some strange rage.
Oh, fucking God. Sorry.
Bucks, Cole and Red Dragon segment.
Still really want the title, so let's have a 6-man tag. That's some fucking big think there for a start. Like the fact that Bucks wouldn't do it. Putting my hatred for the continuation of Adam Cole aside, it's nice to see them going, no, he was obviously going to choose them. I am still, as much as I'm complaining about the constant wrestling, I still enjoy shitty schoolyard bullies Red Dragon, specifically Bobby Fish, hero of Mexico. Internet things, don't worry. Yeah, it was alright. See, I just don't want Cole. Just get it over with. Can we just send him off to a storyline? I don't have to see him in the top card. Please, just anybody else would be on Dark by now, winning 500 fucking jobber matches. Can we not send him there? Yeah, see, whatever.
So ask a question, right? Because I didn't bother looking this up because I'm lazy. Why won't the Bucks go against OC?
Hangman.
Hangman.
Sorry, Hangman. Sorry.
Because of their entire split-up original arc, Hangman came and apologized to them for the things he did. They didn't help Kenny cheat against Hangman for his victory. There was like a sagely nod thing, which made it look like there was going to be some story bonding. But then we forgot that for like 6 months or whatever, and it's back. Which is fine, I enjoyed the long-term storytelling is there. Basically, I just wish it didn't involve fucking Adam Cole.
Fair enough. The only thing I really took away was that question, and oh god, we'll do it. Kyle calls the Bucks a little self-centered, and I love that. And then they all just wander off. I fucking love Kyle O'Reilly now. Every week is just going to be me going, I fucking love him.
I love Kyle O'Reilly, Fish, and Cole. You know, I do. You know, he's really good. Because he's a really good wrestler, he's really charismatic, and he's the most over man in that roster. Baby. All I've got to say, that baby, you listen to that crowd for that heel.
People will shout anything if you tell them something to shout or if you give them a hand action.
But, yes, but he is that, yes.
Finally, some fucking big times.
Yeah, right, moving on.
We give it
right.
a cool.
This one confused the hell out of me. FTR promo. Thoughts and scores.
I started writing down, can FTR still coexist with Tully? And then they couldn't, like, instantly. Tully can now go be friends with Arn. Now the Codyverse has sort of ended, I guess. I don't know. It's the entire breakup of the Pinnacle. See? Wrestling? See what happens this week?
It's not a bad shout. I gave it a C because I was confused. I was sort of like, that felt like it came out of nowhere for me. But it wasn't terrible. It wasn't good. It just was.
Were we desperate for FTR to turn face? Are there other heel tag teams that are possibly more over with the crowd in that kind of want to be cheered? For me, people like FTR being dickheads. People like FTR being dickheads. You know. So yeah, I was a bit confused by the babyface turn. And more on that later, is because I think I would have done something different. Right. Moving on from there, are you ready? He's either going to fucking love it or hate this. Shall I just do the whole thing in one fell swoop?
Go.
AFHO board meeting, which leads to a beatdown on Matt after private party turn on him. Sting and Darby for the save. Heels get the upper hand. And then a piece of WWE music hits as Jeff Hardy comes out to his... They've obviously bought the rights to the original, but he comes out to the music that I know as being Matt and Jeff's Hardy Boys music, and Jeff Hardy debuts in AEW. Thoughts and scores on this as a whole?
Do you know why they can play that music?
No.
I've been following this story. AEW was looking to get the official music and license it and take it away from WWE, but it turns out it's stock music from the 90s.
Amazing.
That's why you get to hear it on other TV shows and stuff. Yeah, they literally went, how's this license? Click, click, click. Oh, it's free. It's off this site.
Oh.
Anyway. Yeah, isn't that brilliant? We get a weird teleport cut with them in the ring, saying Andrade is firing Hardy. I'm sure Andrade is leaning into his accent. I'm sure of it. Naito did it when he was in Los Ignorables with Andrade as La Sombra and Rush in Mexico, where he'd lean into a bad Japanese accent, be like, "Oh, no speak Espanol" and stuff like. He said, "Wash your back." It's gotta be intentional. Anyway, suddenly face turn. I think this face turn possibly could have been a little bit more set up as opposed to promos. Mostly I was taking how beautiful Butcher is. What a wonderful man the Butcher is. This was all obviously coming. We got the false lead with Darby, obviously. The crowd's still chanting Jeff. And here he is. The entire section saved as he comes to save his brother, who's having a kicking in the ring. That's me at every event now, coming to save people. Help me, Dio. 1 sec. See? I don't think it had the impact a lot of entrants have. I don't think I can round it up just because it's Jeff Hardy. Very, very weird. I think if this time was shaved off because of Regal, you could have just shaved off, I don't know, the entire Pac match or something, because it's very quick, very weird.
Yeah, they didn't really feel like anything. Nothing really came out of it. Other than a debut in Jeff Hardy. But yeah, just
have your weekly debut.
Bi-weekly, my friend. Bi-weekly. Yeah, no, it was... Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, the first thing I picked up was him running down to the ring doing finger guns. It was just like, why?
Help me!
He could take another couple of kicks. Jose was fucking going for it. When Jeff was coming out, he was like using the ropes. He was going about 4 foot in the air to drop kicks down. I was like, yes, go mate. He was making his time worth it. But yeah, was there a stare down at the end between Sting Darby and the?
Oh, they looked at each other in that wrestling.
Maybe a little bit.
Sting's mad because his real wrestling dad has arrived. And Sting's sad about that. So...
Oh, is it about to be a custody battle on a pole match?
Oh, Dominic on a pole match! The best match in wrestling! Yes!
I mean, let's be honest. So, I didn't hate it. I popped for the music because I'd had it spoiled on YouTube. So I knew it was coming. I knew what was happening. Just to give our weekly shout out. Fuck you, What Culture, for spoilering things on YouTube. I still enjoy your shows. Stop fucking spoilering everything to grab headlines. Some of us haven't watched the show yet.
Some of us are professional. Damn well, stay away from us.
So yeah, I popped for the music more than anything else. It was all right. The problem is that Matt was going to turn turn face the second that Jeff was available to join them, but they knew that was going to happen because Jeff told us, and they didn't start a slow burn Matt turn. So Matt kind of decided to turn last week on Twitter and turned face. Just a little bit confusing. Let's be honest, this is leading to one thing, and one thing that we said we wanted right from the beginning. Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin. The two men with ridiculous amounts of physical charisma who fly around the ring.
All of the drugs versus none of the drugs in a sword to the death match.
I do feel that CM Punk should be Darby's dad for that one. There is history there, and I wonder if we'll see a lift-up of that. Just to let you know, Eva Wabbit just said, just don't watch the What Culture show. It isn't about that. It's about them putting it in the thumbnails. So when you log on to YouTube, which some of us do on autopilot because we watch stuff on there, the first thing you see is, this wrestler debuts for AEW. Because you've forgotten that it's a Sunday or whatever. Anyway, moving on. Fucking What Culture, cultaholic. Yeah, I thought it was alright. I gave it a C.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
wrestling.
wanted a little bit higher from a Jeff Hardy show up, if I'm honest. Could have jumped off a, I don't know, balcony or something.
Not
straight
anymore.
into the ring.
No, he'll probably just shatter now.
Come down on Vanguard, like 2 Vanguard ones, and then jump
yeah.
into them.
Well, I think they'll become broken very quickly. So, following on from that, we had a Swerve promo. Tony Nese
Remember
interrupts.
Tony Nese? He used to watch matches. He used to come out and watch matches. Then he had a match with Sammy, and he went to Dark to win 500 matches against jobbers, I suppose. As much as I'm shit talking this now, I'm going to be quite positive about him later. I like Swerve. He's incredibly cool. He's got big 80s cool Snoop Dogg energy. And as much as I've been shouting about the debut, I'm glad we have him. Maybe we could sack Adam Cole and give him the spot.
I have nothing to add. I gave it a C. It was great for me.
Wanted to rip on Tony Nese who watches matches.
I'm still sad. Because to me, Swerve is an ex-military vet.
Oh yeah,
I'm still sad. Yeah.
Not watch Lucha Underground, you got to watch it. His backstory there was special forces man. It was a promotion that had undead wizards and fucking aliens and shit in it. So.
It was amazing.
Quite normal.
This is an interesting one. Wardlow in-ring face turn promo. Let's just call it what it was. Yeah. The official face turn promo. What did you guys think?
Chad Wardlow. Wardlow's World. Party time, excellent. It was alright. We had a bit of backstory. He's got some good expressions, some big face energy. Couple of stumbles, but he made it through. I laughed at Wardlow's World because I used to watch Wayne's World on repeat as a kid, so I can cite parts of it. See, it was alright. Let's see what I'm looking forward to his title shot where he gets hit with a chair and then punched with a diamond ring in the most telegraphed why he's lost the match ever. But solid otherwise.
Yeah, I hoped for more, but didn't expect more. Does that make sense? I wanted it to be better. And it weren't bad. It wasn't bad. Like you said, a couple of fluffs, but there wasn't anything. It's really going for that good old homeboy, do this for my mama sort of feel. Weirdly, actually, kind of like a bit of FTR's promo earlier. Really had sort of similar sort of feels to it.
The family season.
It is, yeah. I gave it a C. It was right.
Yeah, I gave it a C as well. I thought it was okay. It's not the greatest talker, but he's not hideous.
He's definitely not hideous. He's beautiful.
He's had time. Hideous as a talker. He's had time to learn from great promos that he's with. But if you're going to do this turn, I don't know why you didn't turn FTR with Wardlow for some reason and do the family thing. And
no. Wait a second, that would have made a fucking load of sense.
Exactly.
To support him until he could...
Yeah. If you're going to turn both of them, why not turn them together, split it down the middle, and turn them both together? They don't need to be together, but it would have given an excuse for FTR's turn that came out of nowhere. This is the bit that's bugged me, is that just the FTR turn has come literally out of nowhere. Following on from that, we had another promo, very promo heavy.
There's so much happening in this fucking show. I said I had whiplash. Jesus.
Keith Lee and QT Marshall promo set up for a match on Rampage. Thoughts?
Infinitely skippable. I hope Big Dimes QT can get over whoever this new guy is over. Because it hasn't impressed me much that far.
That later.
Yeah. Following on from that, Jurassic Express with Christian versus The Acclaimed for the Tag Team Championship. Jungle Boy wins. Thoughts and scores?
Max's rap was great. I quite like the line of Jungle Boy's never seen a pair of boobs. Anna Jay tweeted that he has, but quickly deleted that afterwards. I love The Acclaimed. Weird start, not a lot of chemistry for the beginning. Max eats a lot of shit until Shenanigans obviously gives them heel picking picture 101. Jungle Boy obviously taking the heat because he's the only person who ever takes the heat spot in a Jurassic Express match. Not saying they've got a method that they always follow through. End of the break, heals Jungle Boy like Jesus healing the blind, so Dean could get a hot tag with sequence number 3. Into a bit of back and forwards after that. He did that DDT with his feet that he used to do on the enders that he's done twice now. I've always liked it when he does that. Weird, clumsy boombox fight outside before Acclaimed hit some cool assisted Liger Bomb new tag move they've invented. But I think Bowens just makes up new moves for every match, if I'm honest. More shenanigans, heels eat some shit. The Escalera Doomday device wasn't as smooth this time, but I'm going to let it off because I love the idea of it. Very formulaic until they started actually changing it up and getting some chemistry, but gave it a C. Like, didn't blow my mind. When they break their paradigm, Jurassic Express are great. When they have the match, Jungle Boy wins, then Jungle Boy eats shit for all of the break, then they tag in Dean, he does one move, he does one of his 3 sequences, and then Jungle Boy comes in for the win. It's boring. Not because they're not very good at having that one match, but because I've seen that one match a good few times. But either way, once they get to play it up and stuff, it's a bit better. And the Acclaimed still get over, and I love the Acclaimed. So, see.
Yeah, this felt very by rota. This one really did. Even with the Acclaimed, like you say, adding a couple of little bits in there, it still felt just by the numbers, like nothing too crazy. I'm not going to say they're phoning it in, because they still do, fucking Jungle Boy doing flips and eating shit all fucking afternoon. Like, fair play to him. But it, I don't know, it just wasn't anything spectacular. Why were the arse boys in the crowd and they did nothing? All they did was chant for the Acclaimed and make silly faces, and then they had nothing else to do with the match. Unless I missed something.
The Acclaimed arse will be the new the new faction that will be formed next week.
Oh, shitty heels together! Yes, do it. Give me that team.
But yeah, it is C. Yeah, I watched it. I was losing interest by the end.
Yeah, I gave it a C. I gave it a C. It was a tag match. I didn't used to like tag matches because they're so formulaic. And you can see the wrestling formula in a tag match. One of the reasons that I like the Lucha Brothers, FTR, the Young Bucks, Red Dragon is because they don't do those formulaic matches, and Jurassic Express don't do them when they're with any of those teams. The Young Bucks and Jurassic Express, there was a period of time back in the day with when me, Strange and Muir were doing the reviews, and we were like, yeah, we'll have another Jurassic Express and Young Bucks match because they've got so much chemistry, we always have a good match. Jurassic Express, I don't know if they've got everything to hold on for so long. Right, following on from that, Jade Cargill and Mark Sterling promo. Thoughts, scores? Should we start with Mo, because it's a Jade one?
It is what it was. Kiss of death, great. She's probably going to start kissing all the ladies now. Cool. Like, thirsty as fuck. Great, awesome, sweet. She's about to hit 30, Okay, sure. She probably fucking will, as much as I don't want her to. And in my head, the story should be that she doesn't quite fucking make it.
You liked her last match. We might get more of comedy, James. Just saying.
Matt, I was trying to keep a straight face.
Come on, comedy, Jane. Snogging people and doing kung fu poses.
Yeah, look, yes. If she starts actually playing it up, cool. I'm fine with this. Fuck you, Matt. But... I gave it a C. Whatever. It exists.
I'm on the same page.
Meh. It's alright.
Yeah.
It's wrestling. Layla Hirsch and Thunder Rosa in a number one contenders match. Rosa wins at the Fire Thunder Driver. Thoughts and scores?
I really wanted this match to be better than it was. I love Layla Hirsch. Didn't help that before this was even announced, Thunder Rosa tweeted whoever wins this match gets a hardcore match against Britt. Then deleted it because she'd released it too early. Then they announced it at the start of the match, overly telegraphing who's winning. Let's be honest. Whoever wins this gets a hardcore title. Oh, cool. Why? What? It's like, if I lose this match, I'll retire forever. It's bollocks and I hate it. Little NWA start. I normally like an NWA women's match. A bit of wrestling, but, wrist control, stuff like that. But they didn't have a lot of chemistry. Bit of back and forth. Rosa actually does some selling as Layla gets heel 101 for the break, obviously. And I like the fact that everything Layla does limb work. Every single move is to something that can be stretched and broken. Rosa regenerates like Wolverine as the break ends, battering Layla for quite a while. Pretty sure Layla got a suplex straight on her fucking head at one point as well. I watched it and went, ugh. Layla goes for the bar of victory, but Velvet stops her, setting up her next feud, obviously. And she sells some offense. And then it ended. I didn't give it a D, I gave it a low C. Arguably, there was story in and story out.
Yeah. I also gave it a low C.
Good though.
The only thought I had at the end of this was, hang on a minute, is Red Velvet and Thunder Rosa the heel? Because that was a heel run-in to assist the win there. Surely. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, admittedly, how did she know she was going to get the post thing? Hello.
Yeah, there was a couple of nice little things in here. I like Rosa when she does the double stomp when someone's on the ring ropes. That looks nasty. That genuinely looks like she proper hurt someone's tits. It's quite cool. Again, there felt a lack of chemistry. I think the best thing about the match, is just how Layla Hirsch swaggers around. Everything has swagger.
Love her.
But it wasn't enough to save the match. Really.
It's alright. This is that danger level. I very nearly gave it a D. It didn't deserve a D, but it nearly got a D because it suffered. And I mentioned this last week about that happens sometimes, and I think it happens more than. This was a match when I was expecting an A. I was expecting to watch Thunder and Layla, and I would be like, I'm really looking forward to this. Yeah. Thunder's lucha stuff versus Layla's really strong. And I didn't get it. It was a C, but again, I agree with you guys. It was a low C. Is what it was. It was the women's 5 minutes. Following on from that, we had a Britt Baker promo.
He's not scared of a cake. Made me laugh. Otherwise solid. Big champ energy. I hope when Rosa wins this title, she can keep up the promo game that Britt has provided us with.
Yeah. Anything to add, Mo?
She said Carney riffraff, that made me pop.
So then we had Scorpio Sky with Ishin Page and Dan Lambert versus Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship. Sky wins with the TKO. There's a whole bunch of clusterfuckery with Ty. Thoughts and scores?
I think I have ranked this match higher than I enjoyed it. And, well, the fight starts as a lot of hand throwing. I thought that was quite cool. And then they just instantly start setting up a table, slowing the fucking pace. Sammy remembers to roll into the ring every 30 to 50 seconds to reset the 10 count. Sammy does the loco thing twice to show, so we really know he's crazy before he 450s himself through a table. I thought to myself, I hope this isn't one of those Sammy sells his rib spots matches that every other one of his title matches has been, where he gets injured in the ribs and goes, for all of the match and then wins. Then it went on for a long time. All the picture Tay's there, the doc's there. I actually started, to worry if it's an injury, or if my expected worst fear that it's just Sammy overworking his ribs as always, is still happening. Scorpio's doing the count himself. He's right to. I was like, correct, he has won. I said, I don't want to say this better be an injury, but that's honestly what I was thinking in this match. Like, just get him out, end this. Then fuck me, he's fully healed. Some fucking Cody bullshit. But then, oh no, his ribs, like every other Sammy title match. And then we had a Paige Van, whatever her name is, spot, and Sammy ended, and it was every Sammy match, so I couldn't care. Then Scorpio Sky, who I appreciate doesn't charm everybody else, but is a wrestler I'm a big fan of. I think the man is sex-shaped, and he's great in the ring. He's won, so Scorpio doesn't even get, like, a good victory, after his 700 wins on Dark, apparently. Sammy and Ty have apparently inherited the fucking Codyverse. Cool. Arguably, everything was done fine in technicality, and there was story. So at the absolute most, I could... No, you know what? I'm going to go with my heart. At the absolute most, I'll let you fuck scrape this up to a high D. This was shit. It wasted my time. Scorpio's title claim looked weak. The best thing about it was the new woman, hooray, another signing, at least I know she wants to be a wrestler, signed on Tay's ass. Otherwise, I couldn't give a fuck. The match was the same, except Scorpio gets a disappointing win out of it, and I know where the Codyverse has gone. Fuck this segment, fuck this ending to the show. Oh.
Could you say how you feel? Yeah, I gave it a low C. It just dragged that him in the ring. Him under the table just fucking dragged and it was unnecessary. The crowd turned really, like, especially especially when Scorpio was doing the 10 count as well. The crowd were like, yeah, fuck it, yes, yeah, and there were there were cheers when he got his power back and dived into the ring and whatnot. Did a cutter, I think, didn't he? Did his big cutter thing. But it, from the beginning of the match to near the end, the crowd...
Nothing happened! Nothing happened! He 450'd himself through a table and then the match ended. 15 minutes of... Sorry, it's your moments to speak. I apologise.
Sorry, I'm not precious. I'll cry myself to sleep tonight. It felt weird with Tay coming now because, yeah, they've done a lot of social media shit, haven't they? But they've not...
did you know they're in a relationship?
I had heard. And it was obviously like, we've got this new signing coming in, so we need someone to fight. Well, fuck it. Let's give Scorpio Sky the title, and then we can do some mixed gender stuff, I guess. I'm actually surprised they gave it to Scorpio. I thought Sammy was going to have it for a chunk longer than he did. And I'm actually looking forward to see what Scorpio Sky does of it. I am actually genuinely looking forward to that. So
prefer him in the ring to Sammy.
A
lot.
To be completely honest with you, I think it got put on Scorpio, and Scorpio this is a thank you for being with our company, for being of legend. here's your week-long title run. Prepare to be eaten by Wardlow next week. And unless the obvious thing happens. If they go with the, if the obvious thing. If not, currently, I honestly think, and this is the problem. Yes, Evil Wabbit's just asked in the chat, Scorpio versus Wardlow, isn't that next? Yeah, so I'm thoroughly expecting Wardlow to eat Scorpio next week, unless he gets hit with the diamond ring and the chair shot, which is also a possibility.
They give him a week transition, I will be very angry.
Yeah, I feel like he is a transitional champion. The Men of the Year just aren't really... I've got bored of it. It was really... I quite liked it at the beginning. No, I quite liked a Boomer as the heel. I really quite liked that. And I thought that was... I liked that. And I say a Boomer. You know, that internet meme of a Boomer. And I think
Jim
as a
Cornette
heel...
parody.
Yes, and I fucking love that. And I think Dan Lambert is brilliant. But they haven't done anything. At all. Really.
Got 500 wins on Dark Morg. Remember when we got a trophy for Jungle Boy getting 50 and 30 for Shida?
Do you remember? Do you remember when he was part of SCU and it was awesome?
See, you're gone now. We've got cool, evil eye Christopher Daniels falling out.
Yeah, just and
the end to this show.
Are you ready for the worst bit, Strange? What they are doing is setting Sammy Guevara and Ty up as a power couple. Who's the other heel power couple in AEW? One of your favourite female wrestlers and your most hated male wrestler. What we have to look forward to is Sammy and Ty versus Britt and Cole.
I suppose it would take everyone out of title pictures.
Yes. But I honestly think that's where we're going.
Bring back Kip and Penelope. At least I like them.
Yeah, bring back Kip and Penelope. Wow, that could be the third insert. Anyway, what's happened to Miro? That's my other question.
He's still stuck in the white void. He's trying to find his way home to his bendy wife. He comes out in his last promo.
So there we go. That's our thoughts on Dynamite.
Fucking C, can you guess? Jesus, look how much happened on this clusterfuck of a show. There's only a couple of things I outright hated, and obviously my bias against Adam Cole. But Jesus, spread out your content. Hey, it was all right.
Yeah, it was the beginning of a season. Lots of new stories, quite a lot of stuff. I'm interested to see where it goes. I want to see Jeff versus Darby Allin. I want to see Cobra Bry. I want them to start picking up young talent now. I want to see William Regal appearing in the crowd or just walking out during people's matches.
Yeah, that'd be wicked.
I was hoping
and just standing there.
I was hoping they were going to do that with Wheeler Yuta. Because that was one of
it would have
the
been the
perfect
perfect
drops.
opportunity.
Yeah. But yeah, we've got that. So hopefully that's where that goes. Hopefully we get the Cobra Bry that we originally wanted, and we don't get William Regal's two sons, son and redhead stepchild. Right, Mr. Strange.
Oh no, it's time for my recurring rapid Rampage review.
Before you do, just a quick shout out to the Twitch channel. After the Rampage is when we will do any questions. So if you've got any questions to us, you've got the Rampage review to get those questions in.
Right, let's fucking do this. Rampage. Taz Starks and Excalibur on the commentary. We open up with Darby versus Quen. Darby wins with an armbar. Remember Quen? Remember him? He used to wrestle. He was in a tag team. Wrestling start quite slow, and not really the match I expected from these two, if I'm honest. Slow all the way to Darby's complex suplex with is leading into his complex. A couple of moves bust out near the end. Necessary sting spot, obviously, because God help us if we had a match where people just wrestle all the way through. And a win. It's alright. Open the show. It was there. Anyone want to add anything, or should I just roll on with a C?
And I gave it a high C because there was lots of flippy shit.
Yeah,
I am that shallow. I am that shallow.
I gave it a C. I liked his backflip stomp thing that he did.
Oh, no, that was brutal.
That looks fucking nasty. And obviously, I don't know much about it. I liked when Big Butcher come down.
I was going to get to that.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Shaman. Oh,
it's
sorry.
alright. Then the Andrade people came down. Like 5 of them. Butcher, Blade, Andrade, Jose, Bunny. Then 2 Hardys arrived and scared them all off. There was no looking at each other, no conflict, just... Oh no, Jeff Hardy's here. I'm sure if I kicked him in the sternum, he'd explode.
He was wearing his 90s, like, goth gimp.
They were in their
wasn't it?
original
So
Hardy Boys. Yeah, they were in their original Hardy Boys. I noticed that. Or as near as they can wear now.
Yeah.
Big Butch eating cheese, was he?
Chicken. He was walking down with a bit of chicken, just like, alright.
A real man's man. Right, then the Boomer people did a promo. There was some wrestling history in there, which is what you want them for exactly, and they called out Wardlow, and it was okay. House of Black had a promo next. They've got a new enemy, apparently, and they stood in height order again.
I fucking love their promos. I am totally the target audience for House of Black promo. Oh, look, here's a goth guy in a dark room doing some really good talking. Here's another guy
to the
who's...
Shadow Realm with you and your kind until I get a star tag team.
Here's another guy who's a big guy who's not a bad talker but has a very calming voice. Here's another guy to finish it off with some really charismatic promo work. Evil heel tag team. They're going to have to turn face soon. It happened to The Undertaker. It happens to all the goth teams. Wrestling fans do love a goth team.
If it was up to you, everybody'd be face.
Oh no, this is just my principle of wrestling fans love a goth
Dark
team.
and spoopy.
They do love dark and spoopy as a face thing. Sorry, carry on.
Do you think it is a new enemy, or are they just going to rehash? Because they didn't specifically say. They were just talking about blinding a guy or the black in his eyes.
I think
they're just talking about Pac still.
I'm not entirely sure. I mostly was staring at Brody going, you look so good for a man who can't wrestle.
He can wrestle, just not against Luke Harper. Not against Eric Redbeard.
I've seen him in like 3 matches now, and the only thing he can do impressive is that their finisher where they throw a man to him. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. Anyway, Jamie Hayter, my wonderful lion goddess, versus Mercedes Martinez. Hayter wins with a lariat. Once again, weird finishing move. No entrances for either. We don't have time for that for the women's in this. And we actually get a wrestling start. Nice. Heats up with some strikes and slams. Hayter obviously takes the break heel spot. Lets some British twat face taunts come out. That's one of the many reasons I love her. And then she starts taking her to stardom a little bit. It gets a nicer, rougher match, shall we say. Martinez gets a brief comeback into even more exchanges. That fucking brutal spider suplex off the turnbuckle. I do love that move. And shenanigans cost Mercedes a lead, and she's hilarious. I gave it a C. I thought it was good. I had a nice time.
Yeah, this would have been higher if they had continued that pace, like you say, the stardom pace.
Yeah.
Because as soon as that kicked off, I went, oh, this is good. Oh, they've stopped it.
There's a Hayter versus Red Velvet match from when she first entered, and Hayter starts taking Velvet to stardom, and then Velvet brings back some stardom, and it's fucking sick, and they just batter each other.
Nice.
Right, anything to add on the women's, Morg?
I enjoyed it. High C. I enjoyed. I like Mercedes Martinez. I like Jamie Hayter. This was one of those perfect situations for me, and they had a good match. They had a C match. They get that little bump because I like them both. I'm completely, I'm easily bought. With the Young Bucks in it, did they jump around a lot? Yeah, I can have a B. Did I have 2 women that I like watching wrestling? Yeah. Did they actually have an okay match? Yeah, you can have a high C.
Why Tony won't just drive a wheelbarrow full of money up to Kagetsu's lesbian mountain hold, I don't know. But that's all I want. Just get her and Hazuki. Bring them down, it'll be great. Anyway, Brit's more prepared to stomp on Mercedes, but they all run from Rose, who comes out with a single chair. Shida promo! Big revenge theatre energy. I laughed because it was very you can tell she's a bit of a stage performer in other ways, shall we say. You're gonna see. I know all of the people who love Sheeta will mark out that she's back, and she's having a good time.
Yep, I went and watched Rampage because I was pretty sure the bit you told me to leave last week. You went, oh no, you don't want to listen to this second one. Yeah. And when I was like, Serena Deeb, I'm like, I know what's coming here. It was either that or Paige was debuting, and I think I'd have heard more about that if that was happening.
What do you think of Sheeta's return, Mo, who is new to the world of AEW?
I mean, it was alright. She threatened to cut someone's head off. That was quite nice. I mean, last week, it felt a bit weird the way they brought her back last week. They could have done better. It was still cool. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them lever the shit out of each other, because the only time I've seen them together was when Deeb levered the fuck out of her so she could go home for a bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing it go two ways.
Then V Pandroid 17 in the chat just said the Yakuza boss is back. Which has been on
17.
Yeah.
He's a fucking mark for Arias.
He's not the only one. I nearly took over then. This is your problem, Strange. Carry on.
Alright. Keith Lee versus QT. Lee wins with some kind of shoulder slam thing. They didn't name it. He just went sideways. No entrance for QT. He deserves better than that. He's one of our best jobbers for the new guys. He start. Big strength shenanigans showing for Lee. He does his big Uncle Phil throw that we all love. We all love seeing somebody go Jazzy Jeff. QT doing some comedy selling, but not being squashed, which is good. Shenanigans obviously give QT the chance to try and do the diamond cutter, which I have never seen him hit. I assume he's done 700 on Dark.
He used to hit it when he was a face.
Yeah, I only remember it. I only remember that terrible Cody feud. I have to say it was pretty good. It was alright. Times. I do get a little bit mad afterwards, so if you guys want to add anything to this match, now is your time.
Yeah, I'm still really disappointed with how this is going with Keith Lee. Everything I've just said, like, since he was arriving, I was like, yeah! And throughout the entire time, I'm like, he does better. He could do better. Why is he not doing better? I don't understand why he's not doing better. Best thing of this match was genuinely QT Marshall. Full-on corpsing collapse when he did, like, a double chop. I love that. But yeah, I'm very much. It was an alright match. I just want real Keith Lee.
Right. And the factory people jump into the ring and he beats them. Aaron Solo, I don't mind you beating. You can grab, you can throw him about, you can slam him into things. Nick Comoroto, the strongest man in AEW, does a single arm military press on people, sometimes holds two, is not a man you should be squashing and having knocked out the ring in transit. Look at him! Look at the big fucking caveman Brody Bruiser asylum coat wearing maniac. Not gonna use him to win, just keep him away. He could have a brilliant feud with Lee in the future. They could be big meaty men at each other. Don't waste him. Anyway, they roll out. Starks and Hobbs come in. Starks did a brilliant sell to being slapped by Lee as well. He just went down. Then Hobbs hit him with a fucking massive spine buster. But I think Hobbs' spine buster is the reason 10 doesn't do them anymore. And I think that's fair. The man is wonderful.
My only thing to add to that is, yes, I agree, Mo, we're not seeing the perfect Keith Lee. We're not seeing the perfect Keith Lee. And strangest point from Nick Comoroto, I do agree with you. The problem is that Nick Comoroto is just a developmental talent, inverted commas. You know, he's part of the factory. He's not one of the big names. But he should have got beaten in a match. He should have at least been able to stand up to Lee. I appreciate what you're trying to do is show just how powerful he is. But I think Comoroto was like, you want to try that with me? Yeah, all right, I will do next week. Lead up to a match with it. And
Comoroto wins because he's been there longer and he looks better. Don't watch NXT. I don't watch NXT.
Keith Lee's not an NXT guy. He's an indie guy. Your own argument from when we first started this podcast. You did a whole rant about this, about how you can't name these guys to be Dubsy or NXT guys. Cole, New Japan guy, Ring of Honor guy, Bullet Club guy. Keith Lee.
Like Cody was a Bullet Club guy.
Yeah, but
we're in Bullet Club, but we're the elite. Look, but we are too sweet. Fuck off.
Right.
170 members on the roster! Anyway, Mark Henry interviews Tony Nese and Swerve. Remember Tony Nese? He used to watch matches. Nese speaks some big game for a man from Dark, and Swerve, as I said, has got great, cool energy. And we go into the match with them. I'd argue Man in Blue Pants is better than a lot of the Men in Black Pants, just throwing that out there. Because I actually quite enjoyed this match. A lot of in-ring persona from Swerve, which is, Swerve wins with a really big stomp thing to the head. A lot of in-ring persona from Swerve. I really like a character who wears their, wrestler who wears their character throughout the match. Wrist control and technique, some good pacing, some exchanges. They've clearly got chemistry and they're having some fun in the ring. Knee slows it down with a heel spot submission, but it didn't feel like heel picture 101, if you ask me. I love his little jump to the outside guillotine over the ropes. That's cool. And just some ace sequences from Swerve into a deadlift brainbuster, which I did not expect him to be that kind of wrestler to pull that off, shall we say. More good sequences. I'd say there was one communication error where I saw a little pause in the match. And then stomp, 1, 2, 3. Gave it a high C. I'd give it a B if there was more story. I thought this was a really great entry match into the... better than anything I've seen from Keith Lee. I'm sorry to say. I quite enjoyed this.
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with that either.
As much as I enjoy shit talking Keith Lee, it doesn't bother me that he's in wrestling. I have seen a lot of things he can do, and I am willing to accept where he's gonna go. Don't have that with Cole. He's just another Bucks member to me. This Swerve showing really good. Like, I've missed kill shot.
I gave this a high C. There were a few bits in it. There was a really weird arm drag where they just stopped touching each other, but the arm drag still happened. I'm not a massive fan of that end stomp that he did. He didn't look like he actually connected with it. Not really.
No, it wasn't.
Tony was sort of sat upright, and I think that may have maybe fucked with his positioning on it or something. I don't know. But I actually really like Tony Nese in this. This is the first time I've ever seen him. Yeah, it's pretty fucking good. I like Swerve's tights as well. He has his own face on them. They're nice. I see.
I gave it a B for a debut match.
Woo!
I gave it a match plus one because I gave...
I'm going to allow it. It's not going to change the ranking of the show.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a debut match this showed off. I thought Tony Nese was a perfect person. They have chemistry. They've known each other. Yes, they played up on their feud. I'm guessing from SmackDown when they were talking about Friday nights. I didn't know that Tony Nese was on SmackDown. I'm just making an assumption on that one because it's the only thing I could think of that I know both of them have been in Dub Z previously. But I thought it was a great showcase of a new character, and I now see who this Swerve character is. I'm still sad that he doesn't have a mask and he's not Killshot. But yeah, seeing one of my favourite wrestlers from back in the day, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I gave it a B.
Great entry.
205 Live.
Yes, of course.
They wanted to book Pac as Mighty Mouse. Never forget. Because he's got ears. C of the week. It's been a fucking clusterfuck of wrestling this week. I can't say there's been a lot of bad. There's been some good shocking things. There've been some good stuff, some not so well displayed good stuff, but overall it's been alright. I'd have expected a little bit more hype from a lot of the building of the new season, and I don't feel I've left this week with a lot of hype. A lot of...
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this beforehand. I struggled with bits of this week's wrestling. Yeah. I did. It didn't feel...
I know Mike felt fucking long. Just because it kept going, and now this, and now this, and now this, and a promo, and a promo, and a match, and a promo, and a squash, and a promo, and now this, and now a big match. And oh, Jeff Hardy said, fuck! What am I watching?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, it was like giving this episode of wrestling was giving a 3-year-old 16 sugary sweets, shaking them and then just letting them go.
It's like taking my ADHD-riddled missus through W.H. Smith's on sale day, which is the only time I've ever threatened to punch her.
Right, let's move on. So it's time for questions. And we've got quite a few come from our Twitch chat. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got quite a lot here. Right, okay, kicking off first. Who is your favourite AEW wrestler that is not CM Punk? I think that one's directed at me. Or Bryan Danielson. And who is your least favourite that isn't Adam Cole and Jade? Inverted commas, Jade can't wrestle. Strange. Favourite and least favourite.
I love that little flippy dwarven muscular king like nothing. If Penta goes full Lucha Underground Penta, it'll slide back to him. But currently, whenever I forget Pac, you don't mention him a lot because his gimmick is just I hurt people. But then you see him, he walks out, and I'm like, oh, there he is. Oh, he's great. Least favourite. I'll think about least favourite. What
Mo, favourite.
If I can't, I would have picked Danielson. That would have been 100% for me. I even say I'm going to put this on the what entertains me the most side of it. MJF. I am most entertained by MJF at AEW. Every time he steps up. Even when I've been disappointed with MJF, it's been a B.
Probably Shida. Shida is the one. She's the only AEW wrestler I own a t-shirt of.
Fucking weebs.
But it probably is Shida. That's probably the one who I will mark out for. It's between her and Paige, but yeah, Shida probably edges it because I do like my female Japanese wrestlers. Least favourite.
Thinking, who do I hate? Who do I whinge about the most?
Other than Cole.
Other than Cole. I'm so positive. Look at me.
See, probably my least favourite.
Cody's gone.
My least.
I can't complain about Cody anymore.
My least favourite is probably MJF, but it's for the right reasons, so I can't give it to him.
He's too good.
He's
yeah.
Who do I roll my eyes at whenever they're in the ring? I don't know. I'm such a positive, warm, and lovely person that.
I'm gonna say who I've been most disappointed with rather than who I hate.
Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, carry on.
No, I'm gonna say Chris Statlander. I have not seen really anything good since I've started watching.
Yes.
And the weird alien shit pulls me off of it. And yeah, I know that's probably going to get hate from some old school, people that've been watching this.
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. She's not been on top form in recent times. A lot of weird story arcs, like being mean to an orphan and forgetting you're an alien.
But then remembering you're an alien to forget again. Yeah, I think that's more disappointing than hate. I can't think of anyone other than Jay Cargo, who I do not hate as a person. Just their ability.
But me with Adam Cole on social media and things, he seems a very nice man.
Right. So next question.
Hey, no. I know you said sort of MJF.
Yeah, sort of MJF. I can't think of anyone who really makes me roll my eyes. I went through a phase with Lance Archer, and now I really like him. And as I say, it's MJF, but it's for the right reasons. He's the person I'm most pissed off at the moment. Same person asks, and this is from the beginning of the company as well, because I got a clarification on that. What's the best storyline so far in AEW, and what is the worst storyline? Mo, you're stuck with since you've started watching. Strange and I are probably going to say the same things, but go on.
Worst storyline is Cody solves racism. That storyline completely fucking collapsed in on itself, and that was worse than Brandy's secret cult at the start, because at least that started to pull it back a bit before they gave up on it. Cody versus racism versus Anthony Ogogo was just shit throughout. like solid shit. Most of the Codyverse, in fact, throwing in also doing a figure 4 on top of your Cody wagon on QT because he's run up there. Codyverse, the best. It's probably gonna have to be the long-term Hangman Kenny Omega story booking with the Hangman's eye acting, their friendship, them not being alike, them falling apart. And it's still kind of continuing now. Yeah, I think those two are the best. And in Codyverse, Sam has inherited the Codyverse.
Mo, have you got one from your short term?
Yes, so I'm going to go with two that I dislike because I feel like the Jade Cargill thing probably still counts. But Jade Cargill's 30-0 fucking TBS streak could not give any fucks about other than through hatred. If that is off the table, weirdly, the Hangman Page Lance Archer stuff did not really draw me in as a story.
I'd even forgotten about that.
Yeah, as a story, it was just I don't care. And I know it's early days, but my favourite at the minute and the thing that's really sticking with me is Cobra Bry. Really drawn me into the show. Really has.
Worst. I think I've got to go with Strange. It's some of the early Codyverse stuff that was just really bad. Do you remember when we used to really like Cody Strange back in the early days? When he used to give him a B for everything.
Yeah, really good. The ring. Every match didn't have 8 people in it.
Yeah, but yeah, there was some pretty, and I think it's the Anthony Ogogo one. And I don't think we're alone on that one. Best. Just to go with something different from Strange, but if I'm being honest, it's the Hangman Page storyline. I'm going to go the recent MJF Punk one, and not because it's got Punk, because of all the MJF work.
Also,
it was the MJF. It was the MJF bit of that I thought was a fantastic story that I really enjoyed. Right, moving on. Next one, we got a first time chat from the Game Weaver. Most brutal finisher in AEW.
Oh shit! Cool looking finishers. I love a decent.
Brutal is the word.
It's got to look
So
like
I'm guessing you've got a chance, Game Weaver. If you want to quickly pop. If you want to quickly pop as to whether you just mean coolest or literally brutal, as in the one that really looks like it hurts. You've got that option, but Strange, go with what your thoughts are, and then I'll. Oh, he means brutal and cool. Brutal and cool work too. So yeah. Either the one that looks like it hurts or the one that you think is the coolest.
Really like the Ego's Edge because it is just throwing a man on his head. Any move where you just go makes me laugh. Don't know. Give me a moment. What have you boys got?
LeBell Lock, man, for brutal. It genuinely looks like it fucking hurts, and it genuinely does as well.
I was going to go with it. I was going to go with a different Brian finisher. I was going to go with his stomping in your face until you
go unconscious.
Yeah, until he gets a stoppage.
Sages Martinez's spider suplex has definitely got a fucking entry in here because that's literally suplexing somebody onto their fucking head from the turnbuckle.
So Tyler Black for you, Strange. Seth Rollins does a curb stomp. Britt Baker's curb stomp is 10 times better, and Britt Baker's curb stomp looks like she smashes your face into the floor most of the time, and I would say that is another one that looks brutal.
Stuck for choice.
Come on, man of violence.
I do like on tag finishers, as much as I have shit talked Brody King's ability to wrestle. As I said earlier, that toss into a drop slam move is really cool. Willie Hobbs has got possibly the best spinebuster I've seen in years, decades even. Mo raised his hands like he was going to stop me, so that's good.
Doomsday Device, man.
It's nobody's official finisher. Look, I always pop for a Doomsday Device. It's one of my favourites, watching Hawk and Animal take people to A&E, but you know.
Next, so the next question I've got on here is: do you want a taste?
You want a taste? Oh yeah. If you're giving anybody a taste, assume Zach.
Right, and so this is the last. This I believe is the last specific question. What do you think Hook's first actual storyline will be? The QT one not counting.
Obviously,
sorry, go on.
Go on.
You go first. Go on.
Obviously, I am a massive Hook mark. I love him. Team Taz can feud with absolutely fucking anyone, and that's one of the great things about them. And they normally lose, and it doesn't bother me because they're great. Think you could possibly get him into a small feud between Team Taz and Cobra Brai after he starts beating Cobra Brai young people after their training and such like, where they're trying to decide on where he should be, etc. And that could go either way. Even if Hook walked in, went, yeah, I'll be trained with them a bit, and just left again and went back to his dad, I think that'd be pretty cool because he is silent, big hair, anime protagonist, and I love him.
Only fair. I was literally going down dad and son. I was going to say about Regal and Bry. I don't have anything more than that. It's just some fast.
If Hook's first loss is to D-Bry, I'd be like, yeah, alright. It is D-Bry.
They could do some fucking awesome moves to each other, though. I genuinely think those two would work very, very well with each other. And having William Regal and Taz as mouthpieces attached to that as well, I think you could get some fucking... Not saying that Brian needs a mouthpiece,
you get some great moments. Some good humour as well. They're both funny guys.
I think you could go, get some real good longevity out of that as well.
I don't know what the first feud will be. It'll be somebody like... It'll be somebody like the Boomer people, I think. It'll be somebody in that lower mid-card. I want it to be the thing you two have just described. I very much, I'm afraid to say, I'm sorry. I know you love Team Taz, but I really want Hook to join Cobra Brai. I think he just fits in that team so much. I think that, we're after a young... And I think that sets up a beautiful feud. You can have some fun with Ricky Starks versus Mox, because I just think those two will actually have some fun in the feud. You've got some history as a reason why Will Hobbs and Mox, because they were in a team together at one point. So, I think a Team Taz Cobra Brai feud could actually be a lot of fun over the custody of Hook on a pole match.
On a pole.
Go on.
I wouldn't have him join Cobra Brai.
I know you wouldn't.
He lost there. They'll have a bunch of people to train. They've got B down, whatever. Currently, in Team Taz, you've got hilarious Ricky Starks, Ball of Meat Will Hobbs, Taz obviously in the commentary, and just this
and
guy...
the assassin.
Even if you do the anime thing of, like, when they're like, why won't you join us? You can train with us here. And it'd be just like, he is training with you when he fights you in the ring.
Yeah, I like that. I honestly, unfortunately, I will respectfully disagree, because I honestly think the Cobra Brai thing, I don't think he'd get lost in the shuffle. I think he'd be their centre point. And I don't know whether Team Taz lower down on is as good for Hook as being with Mox and Brian, who are genuine main eventers. I think your pull up is so much. I think your pull up is so much for Hook. That's more on a meta level, if you like.
He's
I want to see Hook
over 90% of that
exactly,
roster.
But that's the thing. He's already over. But when you're with Team Taz, he doesn't feel like he's as big a deal as he is.
An entire push for Team Taz. Then I'm just saying, Starks is champion material, Hobbs is champion material.
So Taz. There you have it. That's some questions answered. Thank you very much for the guys who joined us in Twitch and gave us some questions to talk about. You can send us questions to wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, or WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Or if you're free at about 4:15 on a Monday, come and join us in Twitch and you can ask questions there. Right, now it's time for Mo's big discussion piece. What have you got for us this week, Mo?
Right. There's the AEW awards that are voted for by the people, because people matter, yada yada yada. In this day and age, right, I get why there's the whole vote for this, vote for that, vote for who you think you could win. Is that a good way of deeming who is actually doing well, because you have salty old pricks like us who sit and rip people to shreds because they've had time to think about what they've seen, they've had time to sort of come up with funny shit to go hand in hand or whatever, compared to an actual genuinely live response from a crowd. Look at Scorpio Sky. That crowd turned on him. Do you think everyone after that fact would do the same? Sorry, they didn't turn on him, they turned on Sammy. Do you think an awards-based thing is better than a real live reaction on film?
I think it serves different purposes, to be honest. It's a bit like the Slammies. It's an excuse to do an extra, a special event. In all, at its most basic, it's an excuse for a special event. You can make a bit of an award. The right people get the victories. Fantastic, because you can use that. You give MJF match of the year for the match against Punk, and he's going to lord on that for ages. Best thing in the world is for heels to win awards. Worst thing for faces, weirdly. I don't think AEW's been around long enough to have its own version of the Slammies. I've never been a big fan of the Slammies anyway, because they are... Occasionally they get it right. Usually on the match of the year, to be fair, is the one, and I wonder if that one's... Yeah, I think you got to listen to crowd reaction and look at who's selling merch. It's all to do with who's selling merch. Who is the person you are talking your fans into the building? Who are we to buying our Fight TV subscriptions to watch? Who are we paying to watch the pay-per-view? To be fair, us three, that's a pretty bad call. We're doing it to do this podcast just as much as anything else. And it hasn't got so terrible that we've all given up. It's obviously still quite a good, fun wrestling product that we enjoy.
It's all right, I'm new.
Yeah.
I like being angry.
Yeah. So, Strange. I'm 50-50. I still think, you go with who sells merch.
Firstly, whoever sells merch can always lead to big distractions, because I joked about Ego Ethan Page, but he has been like the 5th bestseller on wrestling merch this past month. That because he put it on his Twitter. The other problem is literally Twitter. AEW is very big on the social medias, and 80% of posts on social media are made by 10% of the people on there. And for example, there are a lot of people who will do anything they can to slag off or put down wrestlers on social media. Once again, as I mentioned earlier, the Briscoes being destroyed because apparently they have not had any human growth in the last 9 years, according to Twitter. On the other hand, you do get an overt, massive level of positivity. So, for example, I really like the wrestler 10. Mo has stated that he looks very impressive. But let's be honest, we haven't seen much promo game character work or such like from him. But Twitter is like, push 10! Put him to the moon! I'm like, do we know if he can talk? Do we know if he can do any of this? There is often... Morg's so defensive of 10, he's left us alone. The problem is you can't trust fucking social media, because people who spend all day on social media can post all the day to get your things. The other problem with doing their own award show is Impact recently went, we're doing our own big wrestling awards, like the rest of the Hall of Fame in WWE, but for other people. And then a month later, AEW goes, also, we're doing a competition for who's got the coolest social media. One, it just seems a bit weak, some of the categories they've picked. Two, I don't think they need it. Like, nobody's gonna take... If there's if they got all their shit together and gone, we're going to do one for the Indies, we're working with the Impact one that's been made, we'll include all of our Ring of Honor stuff, I'd probably be more invested. But to me, it's like watching Kenny Omega win the PW Insider Wrestler of the Year another time. I'll just go, alright.
I mean, to be fair, yeah.
Just don't do it.
You look at that one and you do just go, yes.
B-Dan.
It's usually between him and... Currently, it's between him and Ken. It's between him and Kenny. B-Dan got the... Sorry, that's a different conversation for another time. Carry on, Mo.
Nah, to be honest, I hate like we said earlier. I hate slammies. I've never enjoyed it. It's always been a bit dog shit, really. It's never created anything truly memorable from what I can remember. Granted, I've got a shit memory, but nothing has ever really jumped out and created something phenomenal. There's no S rank match created by the slammies, and I can't see AEW doing any better because it's at the end of the day, it's.
Have you ever seen that meme of Obama putting a medal on himself? That's
No.
what having these AEW awards feels. Oh, good work! Oh, you've got such good wrestlers! Oh, Nyla Rose is really funny on Twitter.
Yeah, legit.
Feels big, that energy.
Yeah. But how many times each week have we said the crowd are into this, the crowd aren't into that? And it genuinely affects the match.
100%.
Some douchebag after the show, us three, talking about it, has no real impact to what has happened. However, that bloody crowd, I think that is far more important. Yeah, you get crowds that sit on their hands. You do. Like, doesn't matter. Someone could nearly kill themselves, and some crowds will just go polite clap. But generally, you can get a real feel for that audience, even through a TV. But that was my question. We're apparently all on the same side.
What shit? I'm gonna write my own awards. I'm gonna write the Matt Strange Awards. Better things in wrestling. and I'm gonna put you both on the spot.
No, I want the true Matt Strange Awards for wrestling,
True
for
Matt
AEW.
Strange
For AEW, they have to be AEW specific.
That's some big times trophies.
Best interruption of a backstage segment. I expect that to be on there.
Well, let's not put things in my mouth. Let me surprise you. I'll give you best interruption.
That was just the one that was in my mind of
Best watch.
Right. On that note, that is the end of our show. I want to thank Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Anchor.fm, YouTube, and on Twitch as Wrestleopinionated. Over to you for your moment. Mo.
Moment.
My moment, weirdly, is Red Velvet turning heel. That's big one for me. Cheers, folks. Strange.
Like, share, subscribe, click the little heart button, click the little 5 button. There's a little bar, a little different communication thing. Communicate with me on Twitter. If you go there currently, you'll be able to see a picture of a vase made to look like Pac's head from my wonderful partner on Mastery of Pottery. We don't have WWK222 or whatever. So we make pottery wrestlers. Yeah, like, share, subscribe, or I'll send you to Dark for 500 matches, and then you'll have to come back and lose on Rampage.
All that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.